What's going on, guys? Welcome to 4th and 25 with J-Ram. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day out there. Hope you're staying safe. I am coming to you from a drenched, soggy, overcast, but nice and cool Mississippi. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day out there. Enjoy yourselves. All right. So, another week of college football is in the books, and we got another week ahead of us, and we've had another head coach fired. Shocker. All right, so let's jump in and get this show on the road and start with our usual, the weekend review. All right, guys, weekend review time. So we're going to start with Norman, Oklahoma. Ole Miss 34, Oklahoma 26. OU come in with a really, really good defense. There was some doubts about considering the offenses they have faced. This was the best offense they've played so far, in my whole home opinion. And maybe got a little bit exposed. Trinidad Chambliss throws for 315 and a touchdown, 50 plus rushing. Keywan Lacey found the end zone two times, two touchdowns, 78 yards on the ground. Winston Watkins had a 100-yard receiving game, nicely done. Princely Umanmielen had 6 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 2 tackles for loss on defense for the Rebels. Ole Miss played really good in the time possession game here. 35 minutes and 36 seconds. Oklahoma had it for 24 minutes and 24 seconds. OU had 8 penalties, third downs. OU 4-14, Ole Miss 9-21. This game was obviously a little big because maybe a little bit different because there was a couple of just huge plays here that Oklahoma scored on, a long touchdown run and a long touchdown throw. If it wasn't for those, Ole Miss maybe dominates this game. But the Rebels get it done 34-26. Lane Kiffin's first road win against a ranked team in SEC play. First road ranked SEC win. And this gets Ole Miss right back in the thick of the playoff race. So huge win on the road for the Rebels. Okay, next up, let's go to what the heck happened in Baton Rouge. Texas A&M 49, LSU 25. Good grief. LSU led this game at halftime, and in the second half, it turned into A&M destruction. It was 18-14, and then in the first 6 minutes and 13 seconds of the third quarter, A&M finds the end zone twice. Marcel Reed, a great game, 202 through the air, 2 scores, 2 rushing scores, 108 yards rushing. He ended up with 310 yards of offense, 4 touchdowns for the Aggies. Kevin Concepcion had a touchdown catch, 45 receiving yards, plus a 79-yard punt return for a touchdown that was big in this game. A&M's defense was ferocious, 7 sacks, held LSU to 60 yards rushing. LSU was 2 of 13 on third downs, A&M 7 of 10. A&M outgained them 426 to 278, rushing 224 to 60. Mike Elko's crew is 8-0, and whew, they looking good. Texas A&M looking good. LSU, this was a tough loss, third loss of the season, and it also led to Brian Kelly's firing. More on that in a little while. But A&M continues on and looking good. They got a week off, I believe, and then they got the trip to Mizzou looming. All right, next up, we're going to take ourselves to a little bit of G5 recap real quick to what was a big G5 game. Memphis 34, South Florida 31. Great win for the Tigers. South Florida missed a field goal at the end that would have sent it to overtime. Brendan Lewis of Memphis throws for 307, 2 scores, 35 rushing yards. Cortez Braham Jr. had 7 catches, 2 touchdowns. Sam Brumfield, a good linebacker for the Tigers, had 13 tackles, 9 solo, a sack, 2.5 tackles for loss. Big win here in the very competitive American Athletic Conference. But Memphis gets a leg up on USF, but USF's still right there in it. But this was a good game, and a shout out to Memphis. All right, to the Big 12. BYU 41, Iowa State 27. Holy crap! I thought we were going to see BYU lose for a minute there. Bear Boschmeyer, BYU QB, throws for 307, 2 scores, 49 yards on the ground, a touchdown. Parker Kingston, the BYU receiver, had a great game. 7 catches for 133, 2 touchdowns. Chase Roberts, 8 catches, 128 yards. So 2 really good receiving performances by the Cougars. I'm bad at these names, but Fatu Satula, 10 total tackles, 6 solos. He had an interception that was returned for a touchdown that pretty much put this game away. Iowa State, 4 turnovers on offense. They gave up 4 sacks. Not a good performance for them late in this game. First half they looked good, but second half BYU took control. BYU, just like Texas A&M, 8-0. Respect them. I've been saying it. BYU's underappreciated. Respect them. They're good. Could be trouble for somebody if they get in the playoff. All right. Next up, Floyd of Rosedale. Love this trophy game. Iowa destroys Minnesota 41-3. Good Lord. I'm sorry to show that sad gopher. I feel sorry for him. Iowa actually looked good here offensively. 3 straight wins in this trophy series. They had a 31-0 lead at halftime. They scored touchdowns on offense, defense, and special teams. What more could you ask for? Iowa's defense, as usual, looks really good. They shine, holding Minnesota to 133 total yards, guys. That's incredible. 133 yards, only 24 rushing, a yard to carry pretty much. 4 sacks, 3 turnovers forced. Minnesota 4-13 on third down. Great performance by the Hawkeyes. Awesome win for them. They're bowl eligible. And even in the Big Ten race, keep an eye on Iowa. They should be ranked. They very well could be a ranked team. They're close. All right, keeping it on. We're going to go on to the Pacific Northwest. Washington 42-25 over Illinois. Washington is just like Iowa. I feel like they are on the cusp of being ranked. Maybe should be ranked. All right. Demond Williams, their quarterback, another great game. He throws for 280 and 4 scores, runs for 66. Washington receiver Denzel Boston balls out, 10 catches, 153 and a touchdown. Total yards, Washington 449 to 337. Illinois had turned the ball over twice as well, which also will cost you games. But good win here. Illinois, tough loss. But Washington just creeping along right in the mix of this Big Ten race and CFP at large, potentially. But they ain't got no wiggle room. Keep an eye on Washington, though. Okay, next up. Let's head to Nashville, Tennessee. Vanderbilt 17, Missouri 10. This was a ugly game, but it was a good game. Vanderbilt with a big win. This is the first time Vanderbilt has won 7 games before the month of November since 1915, guys. 1915. Great win. 3 wins against the top 25. That is a first in Vanderbilt history. Diego Pavia threw for $129. He did find the end zone on the ground. Third downs, both teams struggled. Vandy 3 of 10, Missouri 5 of 16. If Vandy can get another win, this will match their. If they go 8-1 after the Texas game, this will be their best start since 1941. Great win for the Commodores. Tough loss for Missouri. Preview of their talented QB left with the injury. Don't know what his status is as of this time. But Vanderbilt, great win, 7-1. All right, moving on. Let's go to Columbia, South Carolina for a minute. And how about this? Alabama gets a test and fortunate to win the game, but they got it done. Alabama 29, South Carolina 22. Ty Simpson rolling along, playing really well. 253 through the air, 2 touchdowns. Heisman finalist, maybe. Jeremy Bernard, 2 touchdowns, 1 catch, 1 rush. He had a good game. Justin Jefferson at linebacker had 7 tackles, a sack, 1.5 tackles for loss. And Deshaun Jones, the Bama DB, had a big pick 6 that helped the Tide win this game. This game was 22-14 South Carolina in the 4th quarter, but a costly fumble would end up setting up Bama for the winning score. But hey, you win dominant and you win ugly. You got to win them regardless. SEC games are tough no matter where you're at. Big win though for the Tide, and they continue rolling on. Big win for them as they hang on against South Carolina. All right, next up, let's move over to the Big 12. Again, Houston 24, Arizona State 16. Great win for Willie Fritz's Cougars. This is Houston's first win versus a ranked team since 2017. Connor Weigman, the Cougars quarterback, former Texas A&M quarterback, has a phenomenal game. He throws for 201 and a score, runs for 111 and 2 more scores, totaling 312 in total offense and 3 touchdowns. Tanner Kozoi, the Houston tight end, what a game. 7 catches, 100 yards even, 1 touchdown. Eddie Walls, the third, defensive end for the Cougars. Hell of a game. 3 sacks for him on that Houston defensive line. Houston outrushes Arizona State 183 to 98. Arizona State had 12 penalties. Kenny Dillingham's team playing a little undisciplined there. But big win for the Cougars. Willie Fritz in his second year has this football team from the bottom of the dwell, and now they're contending in the Big 12. So great win for Houston. All right, moving on. Oh boy. Texas 45, Mississippi State 38. Longhorns trailed this game 38-21 with 12:29 left in the fourth quarter. I thought it was over. I think we all thought Mississippi State was finally going to break their SEC losing streak. Nope, they blew it. Arch Manning throws for 346 and 3 scores, leaves with a concussion. Ryan Wingo, 5 catches for 184 yards. Anthony Hill Jr., Texas linebacker, 10 total tackles, 6 solos, 2.5 sacks. He had a hell of a game for the Longhorns. They had 8 penalties each, 17 combined penalties, a big punt return for a touchdown also set up, which kind of took the momentum from Mississippi State. But look, Texas gets it done again. It was ugly. They had to come back, but they got it done. So Longhorns win 45-38. Mississippi State, yeah, losing streak in conference play continues, my friend. It continues. All right, next up, let's go to our next game. Sorry about that. We're going to head to Lawrence, Kansas, and the Sunflower Showdown. Good grief, was this a butt kicking? Kansas State 42, Kansas 17. I don't think anybody saw this coming, but the Wildcats just destroyed them. The last time Kansas won this game was 2008, by the way, 7 head coaches ago for the Jayhawks. K-State quarterback Avery Johnson, 231 through the air, 2 scores, and 2 rushing touchdowns. Young man had a heck of a ball game. Jace Brown, the receiver, 4 catches for 160 and a touchdown. Kansas State's defense, great performance by this group. 4 turnovers forced, 4 sacks. Kansas 1 of 3 on 4th downs. And by the way, they held the Jayhawks to 247 in total offense. The way Kansas plays offense these days that's a good job. So Kansas State started out the year really, really rough, as we know, with the loss to Iowa State, the loss to Army. They seem dead, but they've come back strong. They're 4-4 and looking to finish the year on a good note. So good win for Kansas State. Okay, G5. I gotta do this game. San Diego State 23, Fresno State nothing in the battle for the little oil can, soon to be Pac-12 foes. What a win for this team. 23-0. Lucky Sutton, the running back for San Diego State, 131 yards on the ground, 6.2 a carry, he had a touchdown. Rushing yards, 208 to 45. San Diego State, great job. If you have not seen San Diego State's defense, watch these guys. This is a good defense. Probably the best defense in the group of 5, maybe outside James Madison. But anyway, they almost give you a power 4 vibe on defense. That's how good they are. They held Fresno State to 227 yards, forced 2 turnovers, and got a couple of sacks. They were one of the top 10 defenses statistically in just about every category coming into this game, and it continues. Awesome job. Great win for San Diego State, and they are in the thick of control for the Mountain West as we speak. All right, next up, let's go to Atlanta. Georgia Tech 41, Syracuse 16. Just a brief shout out here. Haynes King, phenomenal again. He throws for 304, 3 scores, runs for 91 and 2 touchdowns, totaling 395 yards of offense, 5 touchdowns. Heisman finalist. I would make him a Heisman finalist. Dude's balling out for Georgia Tech. 3rd downs, Syracuse 5 out of 14, Georgia Tech 8 of 12. Total offense, Georgia Tech 543 to 351. Rushing yards, 239 to 157. Syracuse, 7 penalties. Syracuse didn't stand a chance. This was a good football team. Georgia Tech, 8-0 under Brent Key. Looking good. They're on the inside track to get to the ACC championship game and have a shot to get to the playoff. Georgia Tech looks good. Great win. Okay, next up, we got 2 more games real quick. Auburn 33, Arkansas 24. Hugh Freeze, many speculate he was going to be fired if they lost this game. Well, he might still get fired. Who knows? But anyway, Auburn gets a big win here, gets an SEC win. They needed it desperately. Jeremiah Cobb, 153 yards rushing, 5.3 a carry for the Tigers. Rashawn Pleasant, 2 interceptions, one of them returned for a touchdown. Xavier Atkins, another talented linebacker, 13 total tackles, 9 solos, 2 sacks, 4 tackles for loss. Arkansas turned the ball over 4 times, very uncharacteristic for such an explosive offense. Rushing yards, Auburn outrushed Arkansas 230 to 63. Yikes. But Auburn gets an SEC win. Now the Tigers looking like they're in at least good shape to qualify for a bowl game. I know that's not going to satisfy that fan base, understandably, but it is what it is. Auburn gets the SEC win over Arkansas, 33 to 24. Okay, one more game. I wasn't going to do this, but I can't help it. Here we go. Indiana 56, UCLA 6. Good God. Indiana's won 14 straight at home. Number 2 ranked in the country, highest ranking in program history. Fernando Mendoza, 168 through the air, 3 touchdowns, 45 rushing, and another score totaling out at 213 yards of offense, 4 touchdowns. Maybe your Heisman front runner. He's got to get an invite at this rate. Roman Hembley at running back finds the end zone twice. E.J. Williams at receiver, 5 catches, 109, 2 touchdowns. And that's suffocating Hoosiers' defense of Indiana. 201 total yards allowed. UCLA had 8 penalties. Indiana holds UCLA to 88 rushing yards, got 3 sacks, 3 turnovers, 1 of 11 on third down. Indiana's offense was 12 of 16, by the way. That's pretty efficient. But, guys, Indiana just continues to annihilate people. And they did it to UCLA, who was hot. UCLA had won 3 in a row. They were playing good. And then they met this Indiana team. Indiana's just destroying people. It's so scary. They're 8-0. They're at Maryland this weekend. So keep an eye on that. All right. So that is a wrap of the weekend. Now, let's take a look at our players of the week, shall we? Oh, the special teams. I'm sorry. This is defense. All right, let's take a look at our players of the week. I'm still learning some of this. Here we go. Offense. All right, my offensive players of the week. I try to cut these things down to 6 players on each group, so it's not as long. So you have to make some tough choices. But anyway, players of the week. Drew Mestemaker, quarterback at North Texas. Unbelievable. 608 yards passing. 4 touchdowns for the Mean Green in their win over Charlotte. 600 yards passing. That's crazy. Haynes King, just talked about him. 395 yards of offense. 5 touchdowns for the Jackets in their win over Syracuse. Quentin Jackson, running back at Rice. He has a good game against UConn, running for 168, 3 touchdowns, 3 catches for 80 and a score, totaling 248 and 4 touchdowns. Isaac Brown, running back at Louisville, 14 carries, 205 and a score in their win over Boston College. Parker Kingston, we talked about him. BYU receiver, 7 catches for 133 yards, 2 scores. And then Rutgers receiver KJ Duff in their win over Purdue. 6 catches for 241 and a touchdown. All right, next up, defensive players of the week. Here we go. We got Kamari Copeland, D lineman at Virginia Tech, in their win over Cal. 7 total tackles, 4 solo, 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. Anthony Hill Jr., the Texas linebacker, we talked about him. Against Mississippi State, 10 total tackles, 6 solo, 2.5 sacks, 3.5 tackles for loss. Houston D lineman Eddie Walls III in their win over Arizona State. We talked about this briefly. 3 sacks, 4 solo, tackles 5 total. Also got a pass deflected. Jimmy Roeder, linebacker at Michigan in their win over Michigan State. He has 10 tackles, 9 solos, a sack, 2 tackles for loss, and a fumble recovery. And how about this, man? Akron linebacker Melvin Spriggs in their win over Buffalo. By the way, that was an upset. Shout out to the Zips. They've won 2 MAC games. Akron, 14 total tackles, 8 solos, 2.5 sacks, 3.5 tackles for loss. Hell of a game. And then finally, Xavier Atkins, the Auburn linebacker. He had a great game against Arkansas. 13 total tackles, 9 solo, 2 sacks, and 4 tackles for loss. All right. Next up, special teams players of the week. Let's do kicker Alex McPherson of Auburn, 6 of 6 on field goals, long of 47, made an extra point, 19 points for Auburn in their win over Arkansas. Miami, Ohio's kicker Dom Duzabin against Western Michigan, 4-4 on his field goals, long of 51, 12 points. Ole Miss kicker Lucas Canero against Oklahoma, 4-4 on field goals, Longa 45, made both his extra points, 14 points total. Blake Dowd, punter at Bama, and their win over South Carolina. He had a great game. 5 punts, 55.4 yard average. 3 of them landed inside the 20, and a long of 60. Next punter is Daniel Sparks of Virginia, and their win over North Carolina. He had 8 punts, 48.9 yard average. 2 went inside the 20, long of 56. There's some police sirens out here. Wyoming punter Bart Edmiston, and their win over Colorado State. 6 punts, 50.2 yard average. 5 went inside the 20, long of 65. Punt returner from Texas, Ryan Niblin, and their win over Mississippi State. 4 returns, 26 yard average, and a 79 yard touchdown. All right, so next up, here is the updated top 25. This is my top 25 after week 9, in case anybody would like to see. I know I talked about Iowa and Washington, but here they are. They're just on the outside with James Madison and Tulane. Now, top 25, I got USC at 25. They snuck in. Houston, 24th. They deserve to be ranked. Memphis is back in. Michigan moves up. Texas barely moves up to 21st. Navy hanging at 20th. They're undefeated. Big game at North Texas. We're going to pick that game in a little bit. Missouri drops to 19 after the loss to Vandy. Oklahoma drops to 18 after the loss to Ole Miss. Louisville 17. Tennessee 16. Cincinnati moving up to 15. Texas Tech at 14. Virginia still hanging at 13 after a narrow escape win over North Carolina, 17-16 in overtime. Notre Dame at 12. BYU creeping up there, 11. Vanderbilt stays 10th. Ole Miss 9th. Top 10 really didn't change much. We just flipped 5 and 6. Ole Miss is 9. Miami's 8. Georgia Tech 7. Oregon drops to 6. I moved Georgia up to 5. Oregon, an ugly win against Wisconsin. Alabama 4, Texas A&M 3, and 2 Indiana, and Ohio State at number 1. All right, let's do the bottom 10, shall we? J-Ram's new bottom 10 following week 9. These are awful teams. Number 10 is Nevada. All these 1-7 teams. Nevada at 10. I've got Georgia State now at number 9. They move in after losing to South Alabama. Boston College is number 8. I hate to see a Bill O'Brien team that bad. Penn State at 7, Charlotte 6, Oregon State 5, Oklahoma State 4. Middle Tennessee moves up to 3rd is Murky, Tennessee. Sam Houston at 2, and then of course the worst team in America at 0-8, the UMass Minutemen. All right, so that is our rankings, our players of the week, and a recap of the week. So we're going to take a quick break, and we come back. We got another coach fired. All right, guys, we're back to 4th and 25. So we've done our weekend review. And sadly, it looks like the new normal is we're always going to be talking about a coach getting fired because it seems like 1 or 2 get fired every week. So anyway, we've had another change. Brian Kelly is out at LSU. Unbelievable. This happens so fast. But with the way the Texas A&M game unfolded, I can kind of see why it kind of happened. There was obviously building pressure. LSU is out. Brian Kelly is out. Let's see. The players were informed of the decision at a team meeting. Talks regarding the tournament's departure were continuing. It is a $54 million buyout. He left Sunday afternoon, did not return. There is video on the internet of him Monday morning getting his stuff out of his office and getting in his car and leaving. But Brian Kelly is out. 34-14 record. He had a 71% winning percentage. First year at LSU, he won the SEC West and beat Alabama. Did have a Heisman Trophy winner in Jaden Daniels. That was in 2023. Associate head coach Frank Wilson has been named the interim head coach, and he will finish out the season for the Tigers. If you don't know who Frank Wilson is, he did coach at UTSA once upon a time. But this guy's an LSU guy through and through. Joe Sloan, offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, was fired Monday from LSU. So a lot of got some other people getting their pink slips in Baton Rouge. Brian Kelly, to me, guys, was not a good fit here. I just don't think I didn't. He's a good coach, but he just didn't fit LSU in my opinion. So tough loss for LSU as Brian Kelly is out. But I think a sentiment of the LSU fan base is happy. So as of right now, here is all the jobs that are currently open in college football. We're not even in November yet. Not even in November yet, and all these schools right here are looking for head coaches. That is 12. Arkansas, obviously, Sam Pittman is gone. Colorado State, Jay Norvell is gone. Florida, obviously, Billy Napier's out. Kent State fired their coach last in the spring. They're on an interim coach right now, and they ain't done too shabby. LSU, of course, Brian Kelly out this past week. Oklahoma State moved on from Mike Gundy. Oregon State moved on from Trip Bray. Penn State's moved on from James Franklin. I think they done him wrong, but that's just my opinion. Stanford, of course, fired their coach over the spring. Frank Reich's their interim coach. Virginia Tech moved on from Coach Key. Coach Pry. UAB, of course, moved on from Trent Dilfer, and UCLA also looking for a coach. So 12 openings, a lot. All right, so let me take that off. What's this? Oh, sorry. All right, so we'll see what coach is next because it seems like there's always coaches getting fired these days. All right, we're going to take another break real quick, and when we come back, we're going to jump into predictions. Good pace of the show today. We're going a little quicker than normal, but when we come back, it's time to do some picks. See you guys in just a minute.
To hate Andrew Anderson, spitting truth that just can't wait. Got a podcast like a punch right to your face. College sports villain, taking it over the place. I bring the facts whether you like it or not. Dropping truth bombs, giving it all I got. They call me a villain. Well, I wear that badge with pride. Nothing but secrets they try to hide. I rock in my veins, rebellious to the core. I won't back down, won't take it anymore. The bad guy of the podcast world, that's me. Unleashing the truth, setting it all free. Unleashing the truth.
All right, guys, welcome back to 4th and 25 with J Ram. Hope you've enjoyed the show so far. All right, so all we got left to do, real simple, is pick these games. Now, real quick, before we get into the bigger games, here's the other ones I'm doing for you. Here's some predictions. Tonight, I like Missouri State over FIU in one of the two Conference USA games. Missouri State's playing pretty well. I like them in this game, and I think they cover. Thursday, Marshall, Coastal Carolina. Marshall, they're playing a lot better than I thought they would. I like them over Coastal and to cover. Tulane, obviously, a really good team. The thick of the AAC race, I think they get the win over UTSA and cover. Friday, Syracuse, North Carolina. I like Syracuse in this game at home. I think North Carolina's offense is just so bad. They are struggling so bad offensively. I think Syracuse wins, and I think they'll cover. Disclaimer, if you take any of my betting advice, please don't come after me. I'm just doing this for fun. And then on Saturday, Clemson, Duke. As you see, I got Clemson, but I'm not confident in that pick. I think they cover too. Give me Baylor over UCF to cover and win. Iowa State, Arizona State. That game would have been on our prime selections for the week, but obviously Arizona State's kind of fallen, and so is Iowa State. But give me Iowa State to win the game. I'm not going to do the line on that one. East Carolina, Temple. I like East Carolina to win and cover. Temple wins, they're bowl eligible. Keep an eye on that for the Owls. Georgia, Florida. I think Florida's going to come ready to play their A game because you know they're going to give Georgia all they got. I think Georgia wins, but Florida's going to give them a heck of a game, I think. Minnesota over Michigan State. I think they win and cover. Arkansas, Mississippi State. I struggle with this one. I just wonder how far down has Arkansas gone. I mean, has Mississippi State gone because they've lost so many heartbreakers. Can they bounce back? Absolutely, but I'm going to take Arkansas to win the game and cover. I think Georgia Tech beats NC State and covers, and then give me Troy over Arkansas State and cover. All right, next up, let's get to the big ones. We're going to start Vanderbilt, Texas, 11 a.m. kickoff on ABC. Whew. Arch Manning is in concussion protocol. Don't know if he's going to play in this game yet for Texas. He might, he may not. We might see Texas go with an interim backup quarterback. Scoring offense, Vanderbilt's obviously a little better, 12. Texas is 66th. Vanderbilt's averaging 38.4 a game. Offensively, total offense, Vanderbilt 433.6, Texas 375.6. Both teams are not super great at passing the ball. Rushing offense, Vanderbilt 24, 203.4 yards a game. Texas is 90th. Ouch. Third down conversions, Vanderbilt really good, 9th in the country, 52.5%. Texas is struggling, 84th at 38.5%. Fourth downs, Vanderbilt's 73rd in fourth down conversion rate. Texas is 111th. Defensively, this is where I like even more of an even matchup. I think this is going to be an ugly game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Total defense, Texas is 19th at 299.9 a game. Vanderbilt 31st, 322.6. Pass defense, they both have their issues. Vanderbilt 70th at 220.9 a game. Texas 66th at 219.1 a game. Rush defense, both these teams absolutely good at stopping the run. Texas is third, 80.8 a game allowed. Vanderbilt is 18th, allowing 101.8 a game. And then if you go back, I talked about Vanderbilt's rushing offense. It's the better offense. The pass offense looks like it's Texas' advantage. Turnover margin, Texas is really strong, +7, 13th in the country. Third down defense, Texas 20th. They're allowing teams to only convert 31.5% of the time. So again, Arch Manning in concussion protocol. Don't know what his status is. We'll see. I don't think it matters. I like Texas to win this football game. I think it's going to be an ugly game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. But I kind of hope I'm wrong. But with that said, give me Texas. I like Texas to win this football game. All right, next up, we're going to do a little something different. We haven't picked any of these games yet this year, but we're going to do it out of respect. How about this one? Army Air Force, one of the Commander-in-Chief Trophy games. This is an 11 a.m. kickoff on CBS from beautiful Fort Collins, Colorado, at the really cool Falcon Stadium. And by the way, I think Texas covers. So Army coming in and scoring offense. Air Force is actually 22nd. Army's 97th. Total offense, Air Force 16th. Army's 94th. Pass offense, they're both in the hundreds. Everybody knows these are two run-heavy football teams. They're option teams. Army's number 4 in rush offense. Air Force is second. Army's averaging 275.6 a game on the ground. Air Force at 283.7. Third down conversions, Air Force stronger, 16th to Army 66. Fourth down conversion rate, they're both in the top 20. Army's 20th at 67.6. Air Force 7th at 73.7. All right, here's the flip. Air Force's defense is terrible. They are bad. Air Force cannot stop a cold. They're 131st in scoring defense. They're allowing 37 a game. They are dead last in total defense, 484.1. Dead last, guys. That's 136th in the country. They're also 136th in pass defense. Army, of course, is 136th in pass offense. But rush defense, Air Force is 106th. And like I said, Army number 4 at rush offense. Army's rush defense is 64th, 47th against the pass, 51st in total. Time of possession, both these teams obviously are going to keep the ball because they run the ball with their option attacks. Both are in the top 10. Air Force is 10th in time of possession at 33 minutes and a second a game. Army, number 1 in time of possession in college football, 36 minutes, 40 seconds. No surprise. Penalty yards, both these teams very disciplined. Air Force 19th at 40.6 yards a game. Army number 2, 24.9 a game. That's basically 2 penalties a game almost. In the red zone, Air Force's defense is bad too, 119th, allowing 92% scoring on their opponent. They're 135th and third down defense too, allowing opponents to convert 53% of the time. So, with that said, the defense concerns me a little bit in this one. The defensive Air Force is very concerning. So, with that said, I'm going to pick Army to win this football game. Give me Army over Air Force. Okay, next up, let's go to some more G5 love, shall we? 11 a.m. ESPN2. Let's go to Denton, Texas for a big showdown in the American as Navy takes on North Texas. Navy 7-0, trying to stay undefeated. North Texas really strong at 7-1. By the way, I go Army to cover. Sorry about that. So here's a look at the tail of the tape. We've got some explosive offenses here. Scoring offense, North Texas, number 1 in the country, 46.1 points a game. Navy is 16th at 37.3 a game. Total offense, both are in the top 12. North Texas 5th, Navy's 12th. Pass offense, this is obviously the big difference. North Texas is the number 6 passing offense at 317.6 a game. Navy's 124th, but they're usually worse than that. Rush offense, Navy, the number 1 rushing offense in the country. No surprise, it's a wing T option kind of an attack. 318.1 yards a game. North Texas 46th. Third down conversions, Navy is 4th at 53.8%. North Texas 32nd at 45.5%. Fourth down conversions, they're both in the top 50. Navy's 19th, North Texas 50. Now flip over to the defensive side. North Texas is 78th in scoring defense. Navy's 54th. Total defense, they're both kind of down. Navy's 76th. North Texas 62nd. Pass defense, big difference here. Navy 117th against the pass, guys. And like we said, North Texas is 6th in passing offense. And then on the North Texas is 19th in pass defense, and Navy's 124th in pass offense. They have the big playability in the wing T, but they just don't throw it a lot. Rush defense. Navy's 30th. North Texas 120th. That could be a difference maker. Time of possession. Navy's 24th. North Texas is 80th. North Texas 106th in third down defense. Number 9 or plus 8 turnover margin. Top 10. 116th in red zone defense. Navy's offense 32nd in the red zone. 90.6 scoring rate when they're in the red zone. Okay, so we've got deficiencies here. Looks like North Texas can't stop the run. Navy can't stop the pass. So expect points in this football game. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. It brings me no joy in what I'm about to do, but I'm going to go with the home team in this one. I think they win a shootout. So give me the mean green of North Texas to beat Navy this weekend. All right. Next up, let's move on to our next game that we're going to do. We're going to do an ACC game that I did not think we was going to talk about, but there's a lot on the line here, and these are not bad teams. So we got Virginia headed to Cal. This is a 2:45 ESPN2 game. Virginia 7-1, right in the thick of the ACC race. Cal is 5-3, trying to get bowl eligible. Here is the tail of the tape. Scoring, Virginia is 17th in scoring, 31st in total offense. Cal is 88th in scoring and 106th in total offense. Virginia 46th in pass offense, 38th in rush offense. Cal is a respectable 42nd throwing the ball at 253.8 a game, but they can't run the ball to save their life. They're 133rd at 87.4 yards a game. Third down conversion rate, Virginia's 19th, Cal 79th. They're both in the 80s on fourth downs. Scoring defense, 52nd for Virginia, Cal 71st. Total defense, 55th for Virginia, 47th for Cal. Pass defense, Cal is 33rd, respectable. Virginia's 81st. So the matchup could be, can Cal stop the pass or limit the pass? Rush defense, Virginia's 41st, Cal's 82nd. Big advantage for the Wahoos there. Penalty yards, Cal is 92nd in penalty yards at 60 yards a game. Virginia 42nd at 47.9. Third down defense, Virginia is one of the best in the country, allowing only 29% conversions, top 10, and their +6 turnover margin is 18th best. So, with that said, I have gone back and forth on this one. I think this is going to be a really good game, a close game. But after much consideration, I have gone with Cal a couple of times this year, and they made me look silly. So, with that said, I'm going to go with the surprise here, and I am going to pick Virginia. Give me Virginia to beat Cal in this ACC showdown. All right, next up, let's do the big one Saturday night in Knoxville between Oklahoma and Tennessee. This is, of course, a 6:30 kickoff on ABC. Big game in Neyland Stadium. How does Oklahoma rebound from the Ole Miss loss? Tennessee trying to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. Here's the tale of the tale. The matchup is Oklahoma's defense and Tennessee's offense. Tennessee is second in scoring, third in total offense, third in throwing the ball at 321 a game. By the way, 510 in offensive yards, 45.6 in points. 35th in rush offense, 25th in third down conversions, and they're the number one fourth down conversion team in the country, converting 88.9%. So that's Tennessee's offense. Let's talk about Oklahoma's defense, which obviously got exposed last week a little bit, in my opinion, playing a good offense. They're fifth still in scoring defense, sixth in total, 10th in pass, sixth against the run. Can they minimize Tennessee's big play ability? Can they get a couple of turnovers? Or will they face their unraveling again against another good defense, another good offense? But then you flip the coin. Here's Oklahoma's offense. 73rd in scoring, 28.4. 78th in total offense, 376.8. They're 55th in pass offense, 99th in rush offense. 50th in third down conversion rate, 60th in fourth. Tennessee's defense leaves a lot to be desired too. Tennessee cannot stop a soul. They are 112th in scoring defense, allowing about 31 points a game. 101st total, 124th in pass. 53rd against the run defense, probably their best stat. Turnover margin, check this out. Tennessee's 22nd at +5. Oklahoma 117th at -6. Yikes. Red zone offense, Oklahoma's still solid, 100%, one of the best in the country. Tennessee's red zone defense is very concerning, 125th, 93.1% scoring. Time of possession, both teams struggle. Struggle, they're just not high at it. Oklahoma 68th at pretty much 30 minutes. Tennessee's 130th at 26:43. Okay, so after all that blabbering, I apologize. With that said, I'm very concerned about Oklahoma here. I'm going to go with the hot offense and the atmosphere and all that good stuff. So, with that said, I like Tennessee in this football game. Oh, there it goes. All right, give me Tennessee over Oklahoma on Saturday night. All right, next up, let's head to Lincoln, Nebraska, shall we? To the land of the children of the corn for a Big Ten showdown between USC and Nebraska. Nice matchup of helmets and brands, too, by the way. This is a 6:30 NBC kickoff. We've got a very explosive USC offense, fifth in scoring, the number one total offense, number one passing offense, 23rd in rushing offense. They're sixth in third down conversions, 13th in fourth downs. Nebraska's offense is 31st scoring, 59th in total, 26th passing, 101st rushing, 35th in third downs, 116th on fourth down. Defensively, Nebraska looks to be the better team. Nebraska's 30th in scoring defense, allowing about 19.6 a game. USC's 56th. Total defense, Nebraska's 13th, USC's 68th. USC is, remember, I said number one passing offense. Nebraska's the number two passing defense in college football, allowing 127.5 yards a game. Something's got to give. Rush defense, Nebraska's 90th, USC 57. Penalty yards, Nebraska 26, only 43.6 a game. USC 84th, 58.4%. So can Nebraska stop the pass or minimize their attack through the air? Red zone defense. This is the second best red zone defense in the country at USC, 54.5% in the red zone. Nebraska's offense, 59th at 86.5%. Okay, so with that said, I just don't think Nebraska's going to have enough offensive firepower to win this football game. I know it's at home, but I think USC bounces back. They were off last week. I think they come back from that Notre Dame loss hungry, and I think they win. So give me USC. Give me USC to beat Nebraska on Saturday night. Okay, next up, let's go. Let's go to a Mountain West game, shall we? This one caught my attention. I know this is probably going to get some looks, but let's talk about this real quick. New Mexico, UNLV. New Mexico 5-3 guys. If they win, the Lobos are bowl eligible under their first year head coach, Jason Eck. How do you say his name? But yeah, really good. So UNLV, there's rumors going around that Dan Mullen is a emerging candidate for the LSU job. I hope this doesn't distract UNLV. I hate seeing teams get distracted about head coaching rumors. It happened, I think, to Nebraska a couple weeks ago. It can happen to Ole Miss. I've seen it happen to them. It can happen to a lot of teams. But anyway, UNLV 25th in total offense. They're 62nd passing, but the 19th best rush offense, 17th in scoring. Their defense is awful. UNLV's defense cannot stop a cold. They're 132nd in total defense, 116th against the pass, 130th in rush defense, 125th in scoring defense. They're allowing basically 33 points a game, 256 through the air, about 205 rushing, 461 total. And then you look at New Mexico, 82nd in total offense, 85th passing, 66 rushing, 66 scored. It's a work in progress, okay? New Mexico's defense, 67th overall, 104th against the pass, 35th rushing, 76 scoring. Turnover margin, New Mexico minus 11. Yikes. That's 133rd in the country. UNLV is number 3 in the country with a plus 10 turnover margin. Always a big stat. Penalty yards, UNLV 76.9 a game, which is 133rd. New Mexico pretty disciplined, 26th at 43.6. New Mexico defensive third down percentage is 109th, allowing opponents to convert 43% of the time. UNLV's 31st in third down offense, converting 45.9%. Okay, so with that said, I think this is a little bit of an intriguing game. That's in Vegas. I think it's going to be closer than people think. I think New Mexico is on their way back under this coach. Hopefully he'll stay for a little bit and get them a winning culture. But with that said, I'm still going to go with who I think is the better team, and that's UNLV. Give me the Running Rebels to beat the Lobos. All right, next up, let's head over to the Mid-American Conference and give them a little love, shall we? There is a game going on in the state of Michigan. Western Michigan and Central Michigan. This is a 3 o'clock kickoff on ESPNU. And these are two solid teams. Two very solid teams. Let me pull my numbers up real quick. I had it right here and then I lost it. My apologies. Let me pull it up. Here we go. All right. So, Western Michigan is a 4.5 point favorite. All right. Now, offensively, Western Michigan's got problems, but they're good on defense. Offensively, they're 120th in total offense, 122nd passing. Yikes. 68th in rushing offense. They're only scoring 22 a game, which is 106th. Now, their defense, one of the Mid-American Conference's best defenses. 18th in the country in total defense, only allowing about 298.4 a game. They're 22nd stopping the pass, 181 a game, 29th against the run, 117. And they're 24th in scoring defense, only allowing 18.8 points per game. And then you look at Central Michigan, not too good on offense either. 102nd overall total offense, 128th in passing. Now, they're a run-first team. They're 25th in rushing offense, 201.6 a game. So there's your matchup. Can Western Michigan stop the run? Central Michigan can run the ball. They're 92nd scoring. Their defense, 63rd overall. 52nd against the pass, 79th against the rush, 65th in scoring. All right. Defensive third down percentage, Central Michigan is 116th, which is not good, allowing opponents to convert 44.1%. Western Michigan's offense on third downs is 49th, converting 42.5%. Turnover margin for Central Michigan is 18th best in the country at +6. Western Michigan is the 10th best team in the country in penalty yards, only 35.3 per game. Time of possession, they're both pretty high because they like to run the ball. Western Michigan is 23rd at 31 minutes and 56 seconds. Central Michigan is 12th at 32 minutes and 53 seconds. So you've got two of the top 23 in the country at time of possession. All right, so with that said, both of these teams have been solid surprises. Central Michigan a win here, and they're going bowling under their first-year head coach. But I am going to go with the Broncos. Give me Western Michigan. I think they beat Central Michigan this weekend. All right, so moving on. Let's head to, we got 3 more games and we're going to get out of here. Let's head to Dallas. We've got SMU hosting Miami. This is a big one in the ACC. I know SMU lost to Wake Forest last week, so kind of puts a little bit of a damper on it maybe. But 11 a.m. ESPN kickoff. Miami is a 12.5 point favorite in this ball game. And Miami, of course, bounced back from the Stanford debacle, from the Louisville loss and destroyed Stanford last week. But now they face SMU, who's not a pushover. Miami's offense, 55th in total. They're 40th passing, 70th rushing, 36 scoring, about 34 points a game. Miami's defense, though, 11th in the country, total defense, 24th against the pass, 10th against the run, only allowing 87.3 a game, 8th in scoring defense. SMU's offense, 70th total, 34th passing, a very bad 106th rushing, 50th in scoring. Their defense, 99th overall. SMU, 135th in pass defense, guys. That's next to last worst in the country. 15th stop on the run, which ain't bad. 42nd scoring. And then turnover margins, both are in the pluses. Miami's +5, which is 22nd. SMU +7, which is 13th. SMU's red zone defense is 3rd in the country, allowing opponents to score on 64.5% of their trips. By the way, SMU's offense is only converting 36% of their third downs, which is 104th. Miami's 11th on defense at this, allowing opponents to convert 29.2%. Time of possession, Miami's 11th at 32 minutes and 55 seconds. SMU is 128th at 26:47. So, with that said, the lack of pass defense concerns me for SMU big time in this game. I think Miami's kind of back on track, and I think they continue it here. I think they win. So give me Miami over SMU this weekend. All right, 2 more games, and we're going to get out of here. Big 12. Kansas State, Texas Tech. I've had the Red Raiders on upset alert here because I like where Kansas State is. They've been playing hard. They've been playing well these last couple weeks. They've won a few games that you didn't think they probably would. They beat TCU, and then, of course, they annihilated Kansas last week in the Sunflower Showdown. Avery Johnson's playing really, really well. Here we go. But Texas Tech, their starting quarterback's out for the season. The backup is taking over, but he's already got plenty of experience. Helped them win at Utah. Texas Tech's 4th in total offense, 12th in passing offense, 27th in rushing offense, still 4th in scoring, 43.6 a game. Their defense, 10th overall, 39th against the pass. The number 1 rushing defense. They are holding opponents to 68.1 yards a game, 4th in scoring defense. So Texas Tech, still pretty good, despite 1 loss to Arizona State. And then Kansas State on offense, they are 87th overall, 80th in passing, 83rd rushing, and 53rd scoring. Defense is 73rd total, 68th against the pass, 74th against the run, and 83rd scoring. Their turnover margins, Kansas State is 6th at +9, Texas Tech's 22nd at +5. Kansas State 91st in third down offense, converting 37.5%. Texas Tech's defense in third down is 13th, allowing opponents to convert 30.2%. Penalty yards, Texas Tech, very penalized team, 103rd in the country, 63.4 yards per game. And then Kansas State's 7th at 33 yards a game, pretty disciplined. Kansas State's red zone offense could be a difference here. They're scoring on 92% of their trips, which is 20th best in the country. So, who am I going to take in this game? I have gone back and forth with myself on this one. So, I am going to settle and pick. I'm actually making a change right here on the show. I am going to go with Texas Tech. Give me the Red Raiders to beat Kansas State this weekend. All right, our final game, also in the Big 12, a late game too, I might add. 9:15, ESPN. College Game Day is going to be there. We got Cincinnati and Utah. Yes, they're both ranked. You heard that right. College Game Day is going to Cincinnati and Utah. Should be a great game. 9:15, ESPN in Salt Lake City. Looking at the offenses, they're both very capable of scoring. Cincinnati's 13th at 38.3 a game. Utah is 11th at 38.9 per game. Total offense, Utah 13th, Cincinnati 29th. Both teams not great passing. Cincinnati 61st. Utah is 91st. Rush offense, both pretty strong. Utah, the 5th best rushing team in the country, 267.1 a game. Cincinnati's 31st at 195.4. Third down conversions, Utah 3rd, Cincinnati 45th. Fourth down, Cincinnati 2nd, Utah 40th. Cincinnati can convert some fourth downs. They're second at 83.3%. Scoring defense, both these teams solid. Utah 9th in scoring defense, allowing 14.3 points per game. Cincinnati's 28th at 19 points a game. Total defense, the rest of the defensive stats, Utah with the edge, 12th in total defense. They're 7th against the pass, only allowing 148.8 a game. 56th against the run. Cincinnati, 71st total defense. 76th against the pass, 64th against the run. Penalty yards. Cincinnati, 128th, 71.5 a game. Utah is 66th at 54.4 per game. Red zone offense. Both teams pretty strong here. Cincinnati 4th in red zone offense, scoring on 97.1% of their trips. Utah's 24th at 91.7. Cincinnati's 135th in time of possession, 25-24. Utah 27th at 31 minutes and 36 seconds. All right, so after all of that, this is a barometer game for Cincinnati, in my opinion. We're going to see how good they are. Can they handle a big-time road atmosphere against a really good opponent? This is a huge game in the Big 12 race, maybe an elimination game. With that said, considering where they are, I'm not betting against the Kyle Whittingham coach team. Give me Utah to beat Cincinnati on Saturday night. All right, so one final time, I'm going to show this real quick, and then we're going to get ready to head out of here. Here is my picks from the prime games that I just went over with you guys. So we like Texas over Vandy. I think Texas covers. I like Army over Air Force, and they cover. I'm taking UNLV over New Mexico, but I just wonder how distracted UNLV might be now. I think they win. As you see, I had Kansas State over Texas Tech. I did not change that because I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. I like Texas Tech to win the game. I like North Texas over Navy, Virginia over Cal. I like Western Michigan over Central Michigan, Tennessee over Oklahoma, USC over Nebraska. I think USC wins, but I don't know if they cover. I think it could be a 3-point game. And I like Utah over Cincinnati. Apologies on the K-State Texas Tech graphic. I do have Texas Tech winning that game. Like I said, I changed it at the very last minute. All right. Great show. Great show. Good pace. Don't look like we're going to go over an hour by much. We're at 59:30. Guys, this has been fun. I've had a good time. I hope y'all have enjoyed it. Same time next week. We're trying to get better at consistent times. I know I'm a little late usually, but I work a night job. I need a day job so bad. But hopefully we can change that soon. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Follow my group, the Spread CFB Discussion. Down in Distance also is a new group that some friend of mine started. Hope you'll check it out sometime. And we're going to get this show going on Instagram, TikTok, hopefully soon. We're going to try to launch. We're trying to launch a brand here and see how I do. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. Appreciate you guys. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. We're going to close with our Bible verse, Philippians 4:8. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all so much. And Jamaica, Cuba, all of those countries that were in the path of Hurricane Melissa, sending you my prayers right here. I pray for you. I pray for your people. That was it. That hurricane was a monster. I could not believe how big that sucker was and powerful. So we're thinking about you guys. Appreciate you guys so much. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll be back next week with our usual lineup. Y'all take care of yourselves. Thank you, Andrew, for allowing me to be a part of this family. I'm very humbled and grateful to do this show for y'all. And hopefully we can keep this rolling. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, and God bless.